Mrs. Scott, I'm very sorry to barge into your house so late.
It's all right, Chief. I understand. But since this is business, I think I will just disappear for a few minutes. Excuse me.
Thanks a lot. We won't be long, I promise. Come in. So, what'd you find out?
Got another riddle for you. One that I can't figure out. Maybe you can.
I'll try. What is it?
The NCIC ran those prints through their computer, and they belonged to a criminal, all right.
Uh-huh.
A man whose prints those were had just been convicted of murder, as a matter of fact. Logan, those prints belonged to Draper Scott.
Draper? Oh, come on, Derek, don't be ridiculous. How would Emily Michaels get a hold of Draper's fingerprint
That's
card?
what I've been trying to figure out ever since I got this news.
Ah, there must be some kind of mistake.
It's no mistake. The computer has no bias. The computer doesn't know Draper Scott from a hole in the wall, but it knows his prints.
Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, what would Emily Michaels have to do with Draper Scott?
Go get him.
Emily, back here. Come on.
Over there.
I'm going out that way. Stay here.
No,
Emily, do what I say. Stay here.
Be careful.
Like you're asking me to put together the pieces of two different puzzles and make one picture.
There are two different puzzles, but I only know about one of them because I never met Emily Michaels, but you did.
Oh, yes, I met her.
In fact, you were so concerned about her, you got my two best detectives to track down her background.
I wasn't concerned about her. I was concerned about April, because April was letting Emily and her husband live in her house.
That invisible husband, you mean?
Oh, no, Derek. He existed. He existed. I caught a glimpse of him one day. I was out there specially to meet him. He was getting off the bus, and Just then, Emily barreled out the front door and warned him off.
Why did she do that?
I don't know. She gave me some cockamamie story about an illness, loss of memory. I figured at the time that she thought I was going to arrest him the minute I laid eyes on him.
Well, Deborah did say something about her husband having a record.
Well, Kirk Michaels had the record, but as you recall, there was also a death certificate included in that record.
Well, then why can't there be two people named Kirk Michaels?
Two? There can be 100, but none of them are going to have Draper Scott's fingerprints, are they?
That is the baffling part. How did she get a hold of those fingerprints?
Oh, Derek. You remember when Deborah and I went up to Graham County? The only clue we were able to come up with was this story about a tramp, or at least someone who was described as a tramp by this waitress.
Yeah, I remember you said something about that, but it didn't do us any good.
No, it didn't do us any good at all at the time. But there was a curious aspect to this story. This tramp was seen on a road heading out of town, out towards the farm country. Now, why would somebody who needed to panhandle be going out where the houses were scarce?
Find shelter in a barn somewhere?
Maybe. Then again, maybe not. The waitress also told us that road led straight to the house of a local physician, a man named Leo Galt, who also happened to be Emily's father.
Wait a minute, I'm following you. Go on.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting coincidence myself, so I questioned Emily Michaels about it. I questioned Molly Sherwood about it.
April's housekeeper?
Right. Recommended to April by Emily. Molly used to be Leo Galt's housekeeper as well. I asked them, did they see anything strange the night of the train wreck? Any strangers wandering around? Anything at all? No, didn't see a thing. End of inquiry.
All of a sudden, Emily Michaels turns up with a dead man's fingerprints.
No. Not a dead man's. These are fingerprints of a man she says is very much alive. Her husband, who just happens to have a memory problem. Who just happened to return to her after an absence of 10 years on the same night that Draper Scott died. Her husband, who we know died 9 years earlier in a police shootout. I would say, all of a sudden, that the pieces of these two puzzles are fitting together very nicely indeed. I'm just not sure I like the picture.
Kirk Michaels is Draper Scott?
Exactly.
That's the wildest theory I've heard in all my years as a cop.
It's the only theory that fits the facts.
There's only one way to prove that.
Yeah.
Let's get a hold of Emily Michaels.
Maybe she's home by now.
No, I tried to get her as soon as I got this information. She's not there.
What do you think? She skipped town with her husband?
That could be, but wait a minute. Deborah Saxon said she thought she had a lead. This guy that she saw with Emily Michaels at her house.
Guy? What guy?
Larry Watts. He's got a record, but I don't know too much about him. She thought it'd be wise to try to talk to him. That's what she's trying to do right now.
This time of night? Where?
I don't know. She gave me this information when I saw her in a restaurant tonight.
This Larry Watts. Does she think that he might know where Emily Michaels is?
Yeah, she does. Look, I told her to keep in touch with me, to call me at headquarters. Think I ought to go back there now and see?
I think that might be a very good idea.
All right.
Is coast clear?
Yeah. Come on in.
I think you two have had enough time to talk confidential business, huh?
We have, but I'm going back to headquarters now.
Well, why don't you stay a little bit, Chief? I think maybe we could all talk, and up so late as it is, we might be able to catch the sunrise off the terrace. It happens to be a spectacular view.
I think I'm going to have to watch the sunrise from the department.
Don't you think you ought to be heading to bed? You must be exhausted by
No,
now.
I'm fine, and I would appreciate your staying. I think we could talk a little more.
I think maybe we could.
Listen, I am really sorry about barging in so late.
Don't apologize. Good night.
Good night.
Well, since the chief ordered the autopsy, he was in on your little conspiratorial secrecy thing here, too, wasn't he?
Yeah, you knew all about it.
Yeah. Obviously, he must have agreed then that poor April shouldn't know. It's all right. It's all right. I'm not angry. You realize that.
Of course.
I mean, what's done is done. You made your decision, right or wrong. Now it's all out in the open, and I know the truth.
Do you?
What's that supposed to mean? What did the chief have to say?
He had quite a lot to say. Could I ask you to fix us a couple of cups of coffee? It's going to be a long story. I'll tell you the whole thing. I'll get it. Hello.
Logan, you're still there.
Deborah, is this you?
Yeah, it is. Look, I need to speak to the chief. Is he there?
No, he just headed back to headquarters. You'll be able to reach him there in about 10 or 15 minutes. That's assuming you're not calling from there.
No, we're out near the Oakdale Amusement Park, believe it or not.
The amusement park? Kirk, what are you doing there?
Well, we just talked to a man named Larry Watts, a handyman out there.
Oh, yeah, the chief told me about him. What do you have to say?
Not much. He said that he's had lunch with Emily Michaels and that the man that she's married to was not the Kirk Michaels he knew. It sounded plausible to us.
Deborah, I'm afraid I've got a pretty good idea who Kirk Michaels is.
Great. Who is it? Oh, my.
Hey, Red, those were shots. Let's go.
Okay. Look, we just heard shots from the amusement park. We'll see you later. Bye.
Deborah, don't hang. Deborah, don't hang. That was Deborah. Listen, I hate to be abrupt, but I think I've got to go very quickly right now, so I will...
Where are you going?
Out to the amusement... I think you better come with me.
Logan, I can't just take off like that in the middle of the night.
Leave Molly a note. Believe me, this is important. I'll tell you all about it on the way out there in the car. Stop the elevator.
Mother?
I'm sorry. I was hoping I wouldn't wake you.
Don't worry, I wasn't asleep.
Did you get back very late?
Well, no, actually, I didn't, but, I just haven't been able to fall asleep.
That's my fault. Letting you sleep on that sofa. I would have been perfectly all right there, Raven.
Oh, Mother, don't be silly now. You have to go to the hospital this morning.
Oh, Raven, please go back into your own room.
Absolutely not. Would you let me do this for you? You never let me do anything for you.
You have been kind to me, Raven. I can't remember when I felt even being this close to you.
Mother, I can't tell you how good it feels to hear you say that. I've got a good idea. Why don't I go into the refrigerator and get every single sweet thing I can find in there and bring it all out here and we'll talk and gorge ourselves.
I am afraid my gorging days are over, Raven. At least until I know what's wrong with these insides of mine.
Can I get you something?
No. Not really. But I think talking sounds like a very good idea to me.
Okay. Let's talk. Tell me something. You never tell me very much about yourself.
Well, there hasn't been much to tell. Ever since you left London, there's been only one subject on my mind. My illness. I'm afraid I became a terrible bore to everybody, especially
Ansel.
Of course, I may be fooling myself. I may have become a bore to Ansel even when I was perfectly well. Maybe illness becomes a convenient explanation for the way he's... No. Never mind.
Mother, I want you to understand something. And it's really important that you understand this. When I went to London, I could tell how bad you felt. And I knew that Ansel was the cause of it, too. And that's why I went out to dinner with him that night, see? I thought that maybe he would open up to me and tell me what the problem was.
I'm sure he didn't see that as the reason.
But I had your best interest at heart, I really did.
If we're going to talk about this, Raven, I'd rather go back to bed.
Mother, why won't you talk to me? You never listen to me.
You know very well why. Because I know you're upset about my reaction in London. About changing my will.
You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. It's your money. You can do whatever you want with it. If you want to give it to charity instead of your own daughter, that's just fine.
Oh, you'll still be very well provided for, I assure you. The present allowance continues as it is. Your father's trust fund saw to that. And now I think I'm going to bed. I don't want to talk anymore.
Well, I don't want to talk about it either. I don't want to talk about money. I don't want to talk about Daddy. I don't want to talk about Ansel. I don't want to talk about Logan or my lousy marriage. Those subjects have always come between us. But now there's just the two of us.
You still have a new marriage to look forward to. Chief Mallory. And you have Jamie.
But I need a mother. Mother. Don't you think I've suffered? These past few months. Don't you think I've had my insides torn out too? Why won't you accept me? Why don't you love me?
There's only one place he can come back to, and that's right there.
Yeah, like shooting ducks in a barrel.
That's right. Come on.
Is this roller coaster, Calvin?
Yeah. What's that doing running at this hour? Let's check it out.
heard these shots and I thought...
I won't get us if they're not going to.
You look exhausted.
Yeah, I just want a roller coaster ride.
Are they still out there? They're looking for us?
Yeah, they're looking for us, but it's a big park. They'll never get us.
Look, we can't stay here forever.
We don't have to stay forever. It's almost dawn. At first light, I'll make a break for it. Try to get us some help.
No, I don't want you to go out there again.
Emily, it'll be dawn. It'll be light. I can get help. There'll be a lot of people around.
No, Kirk. I don't want you to take any more chances.
Emily, I'll get us out of this. I promise. In my name. It's not Kirk. It's Draper.